Magic history. He tweeted, "The Orlando Magic continue to ride the bowler coaster as the man with the shortest name in franchise history." That's a fun fact. I guess it makes sense. Recently passed the man with the longest name in franchise history, Michael Carter-Williams, who's now back on the roster. In field goals made, hashtag Magic Together. I simply retweeted that, and I said, how we feeling about Bol these days? I got a plethora of responses, and thank you so much for all your interaction out there. People came through with their takes, and they were all good, but one conversation in particular was bouncing back between Tuvia at It's All Mental and Magic24 at 0123. Sorry. Oh, I get that now. Way to go, Kyle. Tuvia said, a couple things bothered me after the initial honeymoon. He doesn't rebound or use his length as well down low. He doesn't shoot the open three and opts to drive when it's unnecessary. His highlights are great, but he's a net negative overall. And I kind of felt a lot of the things he was saying, like some frustration with not using the size. And so I said, this rings true and has me worried about Bol Bol's future. Magic 24/7 putting in some important adversarial points on here, some important counterpoints.
They're not Magic 23/6.
That's true. And Magic 24/7 is a great follow, always has some really insightful numbers to back up their ideas. He says, not to me. He's not a big. He's a very long wing, and that's the role he plays, and he's basically a rookie. He impacts D on the perimeter, leads the Magic in three-pointers contested, and makes opponents shoot negative 1.3 below their usual percentage. Plus, he's a better rebounder than some think, and he has the numbers here to back that up. It shows that Bol Bol is a plus defender in terms of defending the three-point line, and he's actually kind of a minus defender inside the paint. And he has the rebound numbers. He's third in terms of rebound percentage on the team. I guess second because the number one guy there was Jonathan Isaac. Magic 24/7 and Tuvia go on to kind of debate this issue, whether or not Bol is kind of a net positive or a net negative. But I just kind of wanted to get your take on it, Peach, as to where you are with your Bol Bol love right now.
Well, I still like Bol Bol, but I think I'm with 24/7 on this. I just feel like you look at Bol and you immediately feel like center.
Yeah.
Right? But he's not, okay? He's a wing
guard.
or a guard in his dad's body, a center's body.
Yeah.
You have to kind of look at him as like he's not, Wendell and Moritz. He's not going to be down there. He does other things. But I think the key part of this that he said, which is getting lost in all the magical stats and all the stats that will never appear on the back of a basketball card, is that he's basically a rookie still. He has not played a lot to be able to learn some of this stuff, and I feel like it's still too early to give up on Bol Bol. Like, I think he's got to find his space in this game, and now that J.I.'s not there, there's going to be more minutes for Bol Bol to explore that stuff. It seemed like he was shutting down a little bit as Isaac came back because his minutes were shrinking, and it felt like he had to compete. And I think now he's going to comfortably be able to get some more minutes in there. And I think an offseason with the team they'll be able to find a way to use him down the road. His expectations aren't high. Remember, we didn't give up much to get him. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot invested here. He's doing still more than a player making his money or whatever we gave up to get him or asking what we're asking for him from the bench would normally giving. So I am still pro Bol Bol.
That's fair, and that's good context. There's no risk here.
Yes.
There's no risk. There's no risk. I do think the other side of this is my hopes were high for Bol, especially out of the gate with what we saw from him. We did see a dynamic player on the offensive side, and I think it is frustrating to see, as you said, a guard in his dad's body. He's really more about being a two guard, perhaps, or even a point guard at times, than a big man. And you see those physical gifts not really being applied in the way that I would expect them to, where I would expect him down low to be a good defender.
Okay, but you know what you're doing again?
Yeah.
You're Mo Bambaing him.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
Because we all looked at Mo Bamba and we're like, oh, man, use that big body, do this, do that. And he's not doing it. And look, hey, I got the same vibes when I'm watching Bol Bol. I'm like, my God, you should be taking over. You should be the Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Magic right now and just dominating the league. But he doesn't quite, he's young.
This is the thing, though, Peach. Two things on that. If he's not a big, okay, then he plays like a guard or a wing. But he cannot defend guards.
He cannot.
So therein lies the
Not right
problem.
now.
If you're going to be a guard or a wing, you got to sit down and you got to defend those guys. You can hear Jamal telling Coach Mosley telling anytime Bol's guy gets the ball, sit down, get down, because he's no fault of his own. The man's center of gravity is above my head. Mm-hmm. So it's very difficult for him to guard a fast first step type of guard on the perimeter, and we see him getting blown by a lot with high hips.
For sure.
And that
he tries to make up for it with his length, which is like when you're playing a little kid, sometimes you're like, you let him go by and then you still block their shot and you're like, ha, ha, ha. And then it's like, but he can't rely on that in the NBA level because these guys know how to score.
And I don't know a lot about NBA basketball in terms of the X's and O's of it, right?
Okay, yeah.
But I've learned that, on offense, you're always just trying to gain slight advantage over the defense. Mm-hmm. You're trying to make them start rotating and leaving their man early. And if at the point of attack, Bol is getting blown by 8 out of 10 times, then all of a sudden now our defense immediately, anytime Bol's guy gets the ball, now we're switching, now we're rotating, now they have the advantage. And that becomes problematic if he's not making up for it on the offensive side. Because at the beginning of the year, we were saying bigger stat lines for him because Bol was thriving in kind of that chaotic, no rotation, almost pickup style basketball that we were playing. But now that we've got more steady guys back, and the rotations are more set in stone, and we're playing more set basketball, to be fair to Coach Mosley, we're doing more offensive sets and things like that. He's kind of struggling to fall into a strict offensive style of play. So that's all. I'm just worried. But hey, it's very low risk, low reward. I don't know exactly what his contract is, but it's nothing big. So it's no big deal for next year. Hopefully he'll still be on the roster. It is a team option, so there's a possibility that he doesn't come back. I'd like to see him back one more year.
Absolutely. I don't think, I never saw Bol as being a starter. I saw him maybe being a role player, and that's what he is. And I don't lose a lot of sleep over role players. He's great. I like him. I know he's a highlight reel, and that kind of offsets the stuff that's bad that people don't see. So I'm glad that you brought up his defense because that is a very glaring issue. But he can correct some of these stuff. And, this is his first full season as being part of a team and getting to play with them. Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be learned there. Not everybody's Paolo Banchero or Shaquille O'Neal out the gate.
For sure.
Some people got to play a little bit and learn styles. So he's going to be fine.
There's hope about him. There's hope yet for Bol Bol.
Sure.